There's
But
one
wait,
employee
there's
at
more.
Stumpy's who didn't know we talked about anything else except for black holes for about 3 weeks of her employment. Because every time she came in, me and Josh would talk about black holes, and she's like, "Do y'all talk about anything else?"
Speaking of which, wasn't Stephen Hawking's theory just like proved?
Kind of like it wasn't proved because no science theory is proved, but it was heavily supported recently.
Yeah,
when we saw light come out the back end of a black hole.
Yeah, they saw the backside.
Just like gravity hasn't been proved yet.
Yeah,
evolution hasn't been proved yet.
Wait, yes, it has. Gravity is a law.
Science, no,
It's a
it's a
still a
theory.
theory. There's no such thing as
There's
proven.
no such thing as proven.
No.
People just have the word theory wrong in science.
Yeah.
No, I know
science.
I know what theory means. I'm
Gravity's
saying
a
like
theory.
when it's proven, it becomes a law.
No theory is proven. You can't prove a theory to be right.
That's
you
what-
just a theory is supported. Gravity is a
I
supported
think they
theory.
prove a theory.
They call it Newton's first law because that's what he called it when he was writing everything down, wasn't he?
It becomes a law when you have a mathematical equation that doesn't change in any circumstance and doesn't have anything that relates to it still in question. In gravity,
that's like free falling.
In gravity, we know how it affects us in our atmosphere.
I mean, even when you're free falling, gravity still does the same thing mathematically.
It still does the same thing.
Yeah, yes.
Because what
we don't know what happens in a black hole
in our atmosphere. But if you go in outer space, gravity reacts differently.
Could you imagine explaining gravity to somebody who didn't know what gravity was? It sounds crazy because it's like, hey, so there's this invisible force that basically pushes you against this planet. And people will be like, so what is it? We don't know what it is. It's just...
We call it gravity.
Gravity still works the same in outer space. You're just not near anything to pull you.
Correct.
It's still the same thing. So
Correct. But even when you were, how are you? 28?
7.
27.
I'm 7.
7. All right.
7 years old.
20 some years before you, in the 90s, they figured out that gravity wasn't caused because of a particle called a
Gravitron? It's a gravitron.
They realized it wasn't a particle called a gravitron pulling you. It was a wave pulling you. And then they had... So, like, they're still figuring out why. They can tell you exactly the amount of force that gravity pulls you if they know the size of the object pulling you, Earth. They know the atmosphere you're in, Earth. They can tell you, and it would be like a law for how gravity would work.
Basically a scale, that tells you.
But because they don't know the ins and outs of what's causing it, it's a theory.
Yeah.
So even though it can be mathematical, evolution is a fact, but it's still a theory. Gravity is a fact, but it's a theory. Scientifically, it's still a theory because we don't have every in and out figured out.
It's sort of like you kind of... What would be a good example?
We can say the weight of the sun pulls this amount of gravity. The weight of Earth pulls this amount of gravity. But until we prove... like if you set a bowling ball on a mattress, the way it pulls in, and if you throw a ball, it circles around it. We know that's what's happening with gravity. We know that's what's happening.
We just don't know what's causing it.
But we haven't proved what the mattress is. We don't know the mattress in that equation. What is the mattress?
That's Einstein shit, right? Relativity.
That's the biggest part of it.
Theory of relativity.
He built on other people's, but his was the most defined. Yeah.
Because there's so many things that if there's at least one element that we can't prove, it's a theory.
If you can't say
definitively what something is,
we know
it's going to be a theory.
We know the bowling ball. If we can't fully explain the mattress, then it's still a theory. But our math works perfectly. We can mathematically prove gravity.
I hate math.
But if you put water, honey, and something else in here, and I drink it, and I can tell you that there's water and honey, but I can't tell you what the other thing is, I just have a theory about what this water has in it. Until I can definitively tell you this water also has sugar in it and honey and water, I can't definitively say that for fact is water, honey, and sugar until I can prove that all three of those is in it. Until then, it's just a theory.
We wouldn't even call the third element in there a theory until we know how it reacts to everything.
Yep.
So a theory isn't just like,
before that, it's a hypothesis.
Right. Yeah. So what he just described was more like a hypothesis. But once you can say, well, this element that's in it does this, 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 and this, and we can trace it every which way, that's a theory because we still don't know everything about it.
How the fuck did we get here?
Yeah.
Like,
How
what?
did the fuck did we get here?
How did the fuck did we get here? Yeah, that's what I said, Bryton.
Anyway.
Hey, hope you enjoyed that clip. Full episodes of the Small Stuff Podcast are available on YouTube and wherever it is you get your podcasts. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, all the things, links in the description. We'll see you later.